Hi, my name is Marsela Doko, and I'm currently a 7th grader at Manhattan School for Children. My group, Molly, Ben, Cyrus, and I, were part of the hydroponics games module. We had to choose one of the systems in our greenhouse to create. Of all the different systems, such as the NFT, Minecraft, and many more, my group chose to do the VIG. We chose this system for 2 reasons. 1, it looked like a very fun and interesting project, and 2, we had ideas right away. In addition, we didn't have to deal with some of the problems we would have to deal with other systems because we didn't have to deal with sunlight or water because the top of our system would get more sunlight, and the bottom would get more water. So in order to even it out, we made sure that we would switch it every other week so that every 2 weeks, the plant would have the same amount of water and sunlight. We also wanted this to be an efficient, time-saving, and cheap system. So we reused the water by using a pump and a needle. They would take the water from the bottom of the bucket all the way to the top of our system, and then we'd use a slant to water the plants and go down the hole to go down to the second container, which would then redo this process and allow the water to go back into the bucket, which would allow the water to also be reused. Another thing was most people use very expensive materials that costed about $200 for one piece of the project, and their system came to be quite big. Instead, we decided that we wanted our system to be small and cheap. So we did this by using black containers that were actually Chinese food containers. And we used rulers, which most families actually have at home. This project actually wasn't really that expensive. The most expensive thing was probably the bucket or the pump that we used. And if you were to buy all the pieces, they probably wouldn't cost more than $35. For us, all we needed was the tape, so it only cost us about $2. Now that our system was built, we also needed to decide what room it would be best to put our system in. So our teacher made us write a pitch, and this was it. We decided to write it to our science teacher, Brian. We decided to put it in his room because he had large windows, which would allow the plants to get the necessary sunlight, and had a nearby outlet, which was mandatory in order for our pump to work so that the plants could actually get the necessary water. Our group also had many struggles along the way. So for the first one, we couldn't actually get the water to the top of our system. So we had to put extra tape on the needle in order to allow the water to actually go up. And then the water actually ended up overflowing. So we had to, first of all, clean the water that we had made a mess of all over Brian's room. We had to lower the pressure of the pump because that was one of the reasons why it overflowed. And third, we needed to make the hole bigger for the water to go down because that was one of the main reasons why it overflowed. And the last problem my group faced was the pH of the water, because the perfect pH for plants is 6, but my group either got over 6 or under 6, so the closest we were able to get was 5.5. But throughout all of this, we also had many successes. For example, we were actually able to complete the project in time and weren't late, and we were actually able to complete the manual and pitch as we were supposed to. Along this, we also had to change the design of our project. In the beginning, we decided we were going to use string, but as we later found out, when we used string, our system actually fell over, causing us to have to switch to rulers because they're heavier, so it allowed the plant to actually stay. And so these were like our main materials, and thank you for watching.